Hey, by the way, tonight's game, New York wins that outright.
You know he's on top. Million subs, he never gonna flop. Out of Chicago, where the streets don't sleep. Betting on games, making cash real deep. Crystal ball for sports, he knows the lines. He's a sports aficionado, the money he finds. From football to basketball, he's always on point. Predicting winners never disappoints. He's got that hustle, that Chicago vibe. Making moves on the streets, cash on the side. With E, you know it's always a bet. He's the king of the game, never forget.
Hello and welcome to the Etoft21sports Show for November 12th. How is everyone doing? My name is Erik. I'm the man behind Etoft21sports. Absolutely loaded episode for you today. My girl, Lady D, is coming back on the show. Those who don't remember, only show ever. I've been doing this for 2.5 years now when all the picks came through. Absolutely perfect. She's coming back. Her and I are going to look back at week 10, share our bets for week 11. Plus, Gino will have his horse racing bet of the day. But before we get into all that, I would like to say thank you to the sponsor of the show, Boom Fantasy. Go to the App Store, download the Boom Fantasy app, use promo code ETOFT21. That way they know old Uncle Rico sent you. Now let's see what Gino has cooking for us over at Churchill Downs.
Best bet for this week is going to come Saturday at Churchill Downs. We're going to look at the Claiming Crown Day. This is a cool day where a lot of the horses who are claiming horses get to run for bigger money and stakes races. So it's the best of the claimers. In this 11th race, we're going to look at a horse who's been facing a lot tougher horses than most of these recently. I'm going to go to Echo Lane. So Echo Lane comes out of races behind Deterministic, who's a multiple graded stakes winner. Grandmo the First, who's multiple graded stakes placed. See, In a Jam, who's been a horse who's been facing, at that point, some of the better 3-year-olds. Firminio. We're talking about much better company than I think a lot of these have been facing as of late. So we look at Echo Lane, type of running style that he has. He's a 3-year-old with some upside still relatively lightly raced compared to a lot of the others in this field. Echo Lane, very interesting in race number 11. Remember, with these daily racing form past performances, you can look at a couple different things. You can look at the formulator, past performances. You can look at the chart, see how the race would shape up and how they think it might with the pace. Who is going to be some of the speed horses? Who are some of the horses coming from off the pace? Where horses will sit? We're going to go to the number 9, Echo Lane, for the top selection in race number 11 on Saturday at Churchill Downs. Best of luck.
Make sure to give my boy Gino a follow at It's Me Gino B on social media. Him and I I'll be on his podcast this week. Actually, him and I are recording tomorrow, breaking down every single game on the week 11 slate. Now let's welcome the special guest all the way from Arizona, my girl, Lady D.
Hey, what's up, Erik? How you doing?
How are you
We're
doing
back.
today, my friend?
Good. Ready to get into these week 11. Oh,
So
see if we can come back with another sweep.
hopefully we can get the sweep. We came close last week. Last week we went 5-1. Like I said in the intro, you are the only one to sweep the board with me. We were 6-0 last time. Hopefully we can repeat it real quick. I hate the Lakers, says Nova sucks. Yeah, Nova is going through it now. Nova definitely made the wrong hire with Napier. Not Napier, dude. Neptune, sorry. C-Spirit 22. And I'd be happy to hear your insight on this because you are a Bears fan. If you're the Bears owner, what would you do right now?
Oh my God. We should have never traded. We should have never traded him. We should have never traded him. We should have never traded him to the Steelers. We should have never traded him for the Steelers. Well, we spoke about this time about Caleb Williams. We didn't even think that he was going to be good. Anyways, we thought he was going to be a bust, and it showed that he was a bust. Anyways, this damn general of the Bears is horrible. I'm just ashamed, to be honest.
So
I am ashamed, to be honest. I'm so hurt. I'm sick how he was playing. He was doing good. not even good. He was doing media core the first half of the week, and then he just started tanking. How the hell did we lose against the damn Patriots?
So here's my thing. Like, if I'm the owner of the Bears right now, I think for his own mental being, you kind of have to think maybe you have to sit him for a little bit because he's getting beat up so much. You know, their offense, they have the worst offensive line in the league. And last week, they didn't have both their right and left tackle.
Right.
So, of course, he's going to get eaten up. So, just to put it in perspective, they have the shittiest offensive line, and the two people starting at tackles aren't good enough to start on the shittiest offensive line in the league. That's, you know what I mean? So,
do you think we should just put the backup? Because, man, the backup quarterback back was pretty good during the.
But even if you put in the backup quarterback in, you know, you're at the point right now, you got to pay for next year. You got to get him mentally right. Because as much as everyone wants to blame Eberflus, Walden, he's mentally, he's gone. You have
he's not there.
And DJ Moore, who before this year were well-respected veteran guys, going to Eberflus, asking him to make a quarterback change. That's just how it is right now. It is just bad right there. I don't think that Ben Johnson will go to Chicago, but I would throw every single penny I have at him because you need an offensive guy here to kind of save him or someone that's going to at least bring structure. Like, I know Kingsbury's an offensive guy, but I wouldn't bring Kingsbury because he's shown how the structure he brings doesn't work when he was at Arizona.
Right.
So I would throw the bag at Johnson. If I don't get Johnson, I would interview Vrabel because Vrabel would bring structure. But with Vrabel, I would need him to show me who he's bringing in as his OC because we can't have this thing here. I hate the Bears. Sorry, the Bears can't have this thing where they just are new OC, young rookie quarterback, new OC, second year quarterback. You know, they need to just get some stability there, and there has to be a plan. That's what I would do for this year.
I think they just really need to figure out how this whole defense and offense, because like you said, it's just hideous. And it can't work if you don't have a good connections with the offense and defense, and that's what he's been showing. He has to have that connection, just like what's his name for the Steelers, Fields. Just like Fields he went into there, and then he made that connection with the players, and he was playing good, and then they decided to sit him down for Russell Wilson. So I don't know why they did that for, but he wasn't looking bad for the Steelers, man. You can't say that. It depends. To me, honestly, I feel like it has to be the chemistry between the players. If you don't have that chemistry between the players, he can't.
But I mean, like, kind of look at it like this: like they went in there, their season. My thing is after the game against the Commanders, we're gonna see how good this leadership was, and it's been awful. I didn't think it was good to begin with. This just shows it's actually worse than I initially thought it was, with how much this has fallen apart. And then you look at someone like the Broncos. They get embarrassed by the Ravens. They go on the road. They almost beat the Chiefs.
Exactly. And
that just comes from the leadership on top. And you mentioned their defense. The big thing they did last year was they added Martez Sweat from the Bears. This year, his stat line has just been awful. You know, only 10 tackles, 8 games, 10 tackles.
Damn defense. You know, I just gave up on him. I don't even touch the games. I wanted to take the Green Bay, but I'm like, I am not because they won't get their ass
Oh,
fucking
and
handed.
the person that got to replace him was the guy that was the OC for the Panthers last year.
Oh,
The person that was responsible for Bryce Young looking like a junior varsity quarterback is their offensive coordinator.
believable.
Are
I
the
don't,
Steelers for real?
well, we'll see about that against the Ravens, right? I mean, like, damn, they won like 6 games out of their last 3 matchups with Ravens
I mean, I
for their
think
histories.
the main thing with them, excuse me, this is their remaining schedule. Baltimore, Cleveland, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Baltimore, KC, Bengals. This schedule, they could lose the remainder of their games. As crazy as it sounds, they could lose the remainder of the game. So we're going to kind of see what they are because their wins haven't been that impressive so far. You know what I mean? They beat Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta's that good. They beat Denver at the beginning of the year.
And the Commanders was like what, way up. Next thing you know, I'm like, how the hell they came back all the way out of fourth quarter, third quarter?
It's
What the hell?
it's just one of those things where I think we're going to see how good they are with how their schedule lines up. Sports Facts chimes in. What's wrong with the Niners? They didn't look good at all. I think it's going to. Oh, why don't you tell your answer, then I'll chime in.
I really don't follow the Niners.
Okay.
The
I mean,
Niners.
I think it's just going to take some time. I mean, they have a lot of moving pieces. They're obviously getting CMC back. I think missing the amount of time he did is going to be. It's just going to take time for him to get back in the flow. Pearsall, who played great, but let's be realistic, got shot in the chest in the summer, is basically Brandon Ayuk now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to take a little bit of time. I think once their offense gets clicking, it's going to be good. Because if you just kind of look at what Purdy is doing, Purdy's playing at a level of a top 10 quarterback in the league right now. They just need to get all their pieces in line and get everything going in the right direction.
We'll see if they can do that in 7 weeks because we only got 7 weeks of football left. Well,
but
8 weeks.
I mean, they can sneak in. I mean, with how bad the NFC is, I mean, they should make the playoffs. They should make the playoffs. And
but they probably get their ass whooped again.
I do need to ask you this because you live out in Arizona. Have you ever been to a Cardinals game?
Oh no.
Oh,
I wanted to go last Sunday, and I just when they were playing the Bears, and I couldn't go. I was heated.
Good thing you didn't go because that was an ass kicking.
It was. I had the Cardinals, to be honest, but like.
Oh, I had the Cardinals too.
I just wanted to go to see my team, both of my teams, but I didn't make it. I never make it to the Cardinals game. I need to before I end up moving out of here.
Did you see like they have this cotton candy burrito?
Oh, I heard about that.
I'm like, what the hell is
I
this?
couldn't even eat that shit. That's like
couldn't-
diabetes.
Oh, I would die eating it too.
I would be freaking hyper the whole day, jumping off the freaking thing. I ate one of those damn giant burrito candy, cotton candy. That's ridiculous. And then they have like Skittles and shit inside of it.
It sucks. I've had it. Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go. There you go.
It's not worse than $15
And
or
God,
$20.
let's jump in. We each have a takeaway. Lady D, what was your takeaway,
Me?
my friend? Yep.
Man, listen, you know what? I always have a problem with the damn Chiefs. I'm sick and tired of Chiefs fucking winning miraculously. Every time this happens, and every time you get me on your show, I'm gonna talk about damn Chiefs because I'm so fucking tired of them winning by an inch of a hair. Where is these fucking crazy ass plays coming from? Oh, we missed the field goal.
It's David.
It's driving me nuts, to be
Yeah.
honest. That's one of my damn
David, who comes to my
takeaways.
podcast all the time, he had the money line and he was fuming. He was absolutely fuming. My takeaway is I've been a Lions fan my entire life ever since I was a young kid. So I'm no stranger to heartbreak. Over the years, I've had my heart ripped out by them time after time again. The NFC Championship loss last year when they blew a 24-7 lead. That one left a bad taste in my mouth. Campbell going for it instead of taking field goals, chasing points at the wrong time. Just brutal. But last Sunday was different. Watching Goff.
Damn comeback, man.
Five
Damn
interceptions.
comeback.
Offense
Oh,
struggling to find its rhythm. You think that would be a recipe for disaster. And yet they found a way to pull it off.
they sure
Came
did,
back,
man.
gritted it out. And with Bates nailing those field goals, I started to believe. I believe that this year, with that kind of fight and resilience, they really could go all the way. Am I worried about Hutchinson being hurt? I am, yes. But son of a bitch, Dan Campbell finally has me believing. And the difference between the Lions and the Bears was shown at the trade deadline.
Leave my Bears alone.
Well, no, I'm just like the person asked in the chat, what do the Bears need to do? The Lions traded for Darius Smith, the pass rusher from Cleveland. Now, how it worked out, this was Cleveland's bye week. So he was off this week. He has a resident, he lives in Florida. What did the Lions do? Did the Lions force him to come play? The Lions were like, no. Go to Florida, see what happened with the hurricane, do what you have to do with your family, and then come back the following week.
Right.
That's what I don't want to say like a world class, but that's what a good organization does. And that was right now is what's lacking from the Bears. You know what I mean? That like literally that's it. That is what is lacking from the Bears.
Fucking Bears.
Oh God, they are so bad. Let's go ahead and let's look back how we did with our bets from last week. 5-1 last week in our bets with Bryce hitting Burrow over 1.5 touchdowns, and he parlayed the Burrow passing yards over with the Chase receiving yards over. Cam hit Chase over 82.5 receiving yards, but lost the Jets money line. Old Uncle Rico hit the Bengals +6 and the Steelers +3 for the show. We are 30-20-1 for the season. So pretty good. Pretty good last week. 5-1. Those watching for the first time, 6 bets are given out. We each have 3. And Lady D is kicking off with the big game of the weekend.
Okay, of course I'm gonna go take the Bills -2.5 because listen, I need to see a loss by the damn Chiefs. Okay, I know the Chiefs are going into Buffalo. Buffalo has to come through and kick these assholes' ass. Come on, let's go. Give me Bills -2.5. I don't know, man. Listen, it was hard for me to decide on what teams I wanted to take earlier, before I can see the whole lines where the money is going into early. Well, let me see. Hold on. Let me check out what it looks like. My bad. I'm on it and I wanted to see who's the people are taking right now. Excuse me, y'all.
I think it's the Bills
It's Casey. Everybody's taking the spread +2.5 on Chief. Right now, it's 78% of the bets and 82% of the money line, which is scary because you know that Chiefs have been hitting them miraculously fucking wins on the money line. But why is Buffalo -2.5?
Because they can run the ball. They're going to shorten the game. I think they got the dudes. I don't know. Like, I feel that Kansas City, and if my boy Bryce is watching this, no disrespect, you're my boy. They're the worst.
9-0.
They're the worst 9-0 team in the history of the game. Like, Xavier Worthy is too small to be playing wide receiver. You have Old Man Hopkins. You have Kareem Hunt, who's great for my fantasy league because I needed a running back, but all he can do is fall forward. Bills are just running the ball. Bills just look a little bit more explosive. I like this one a lot. I think we're going to see this stay under 3, and honestly, I'll probably bet this one too. I like the Bills in this spot a lot too.
Yeah.
Um,
What is Bills -2.5? Let's go. Bring it down to 2. If you're scared. If you're scared.
My first one is I want the Philadelphia Eagles -3. Favorites on Thursday Night Football are 26%. ATS home favorites 55%. Hurts at home 60% against the number as a home favorite. Hurts as a 7-point favorite or less at home 10-1. As a 3-point favorite or less, very small sample size, he is 5-0. But he's covering at home. PFF has the Commanders as the 11th worst rush defense. DVOA has them as the 24th worst rush defense. The Eagles, per PFF, 7th best offensive line, 10th best rushing offense. And DVOA actually has them as the 6th best rushing offense. I think they're going to be able to move the ball on the ground. The key piece to the Eagles offense is A.J. Brown. Why is that? Because when he's out, it allows teams to bracket coverage Devontae Smith, and you don't have that deep threat that person that stretches the field. Got to think about it. NBA 3-point shooting. When you have that 3-point shooter, you can't clog the lane. That's what A.J. Brown does to this offense. Now, I know the Commanders got Lattimore, but this secondary is awful in my eyes. I wish teams would throw in a more, especially deep. That's what the Kellen Moore offense is. PFF has them graded as the 5th worst secondary in the league. They run man-high coverage, allowing the 4th highest first down rate and the worst success rate running man. And guess what? A.J. Brown per PFF is graded as the best wide receiver against man coverage. Another angle I like to do is I like to fade teams after playing on the field 75 plays or more, playing on a short week. That's how many plays that the Commanders defense was on the field. As much as everyone loves Jaden Daniels, he can't throw the left side of the field. Now he's going up against the Vic Fangio defense with Carter, the highest graded internal pass rusher. Cooper DeJean, who the last 3 weeks is the highest graded DB in coverage. Commanders 7-0 this season against teams with losing records. Only 3 teams with winning records. Look, I'm doing it. Give me the Eagles here, -3.
I wanted to take the Commanders, but the way they played against the Steelers, I'm deteriorating from them. So it's crazy how they opened at -6, now it's 3.5.
There's a 3. There's a 3 on Fanatics. I got a 3 on Fanatics before we started this bad boy.
And it's crazy because everybody's on 59% of the bets are on Eagles, and 66% of the money is on the Eagles as well. But it's just, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that game alone. If I bet it, I'll probably take the Eagles as well.
The wild factor is Sirianni. Sirianni, like, if I was an Eagles fan, no, I do have a future on the Eagles, I would probably smoke so many cigarettes just because Sirianni is an effing lunatic with the shit he decides to do. Next, let's Oh, sorry. I got an issue.
Oh
Yeah, we
no.
are having trouble streaming to YouTube. This may be an issue on YouTube's end. We'll keep you. Okay. All right. So interesting.
Oh no, YouTube.
Interesting. It looks like I am frozen on YouTube, but we will keep it going. I'll just reload this a little bit later. Next bet, my friend. Where are you going?
The Broncos. Okay. See, I don't like how the freak the Falcons have been playing lately as well. So I'm gonna take the Broncos -2.5. Falcons got the ass whooped by the Saints. They're let's see what it looks like. It looks like all the money is going into the Falcons +2.5 with 64% of the bets and 54% of the money. Broncos have been playing good, especially at home. So I'm gonna have to take the Broncos and put it down to -2 or keep it at -2.5. It depends because the lines are going the spread will be changing during this whole week. So if you're gonna get it, I hope it doesn't go to 3 or for both the Bills or Broncos. But I'm definitely taking the Broncos at home. I don't give a damn if the Falcons is 6-4. Their away, they haven't even played that great away. Let's see what looks their
I think the
matchup.
Falcons suck. Like there's certain teams I think are just brutal, and I'm not gonna lie, that's where the Falcons are. The Falcons, in my eyes.
Did you see what happened in a game with the Saints? They were right there to go make a touchdown to win the damn game, and they threw an interception.
It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
But I mean, when you look at their big, so the stuff that stood out to me about the Falcons is when you look at all their work, they have just got extremely lucky. They should have lost they should have lost to the Saints the first game they played it. Kirk Cousins has no arm strength, can't throw to the outside part of the field. And also, I think that Sean Payton is a better coach. I think Raheem Morris is a little bit over his head. I don't think he's a good coach at all.
And it's crazy. Look at the last 10 home games for Denver. They're like 70. They're 60% against the spread.
My next bet. And I actually found a better line than you, so I'm sorry.
Oh, I hate you.
I got the Steelers. I got the Steelers.
I got double down now. We're on the same.
I got the Steelers +3.5. I say it every week. Tomlin as a dog is my BFF. As a dog, 65.9% ATS. As a home dog, 76% ATS. Tomlin as a home dog getting 3 or more, 83% ATS. Tomlin against Harbaugh as a dog, 12-2-2. In the Tomlin and Harbaugh era, this is the one that blows my mind. The dog has covered 79% of the time. It doesn't matter which one is the dog between the two. The dogs just cover. We need to face it. This Ravens defense isn't what it used to be, and Hamilton mispracticed today, which could be an issue with him missing Sunday, which would be a big blow. Ravens, per PFF, 7th worst coverage team, 25th DVOA defending the pass, and have allowed the most passing yards per game. Wilson will have some success here throwing the ball. Jackson has struggled against the Steelers defense. The right side of the offensive line for the Ravens has been brutal this year. And look, Jackson is Jackson, but Watt should be able to get home. And I feel that the Steelers defense is disciplined enough to maintain its lanes so he can't get to the outside. Steelers have the 7th best run defense per PFF. DVOA run defense. Sorry, DVOA has them great as the 9th best defense against the run. And they're only allowing 87 yards per game. I think Henry will struggle here. And when you look at what Henry has done against the Steelers defense, he's only averages 60 yards a game against the Steelers in his career. And that's when he is during his peak Titans games, too. I like the matchup. I see the trends. This is going to come down. This is going to be a field goal game.
I think this is going to be a field goal game, too.
I was able to get the 3.5 in the hook, so I took the Steelers here +3. Lady
I'll
D,
take it at 3.5 too. I'm with you with the Steelers. I like them being home. They're gonna get it at home. The last match, well, their head-to-head matchup over the years. Steelers seems to, it looks like it was 6-3 with all their matchups. They won 6, and the Ravens look like they won only 3 times out of their all matchup. But I'm really loving it because they look real good, especially being a dog, which it looks like is 60% as a dog.
yeah.
My
I
bad
mean,
for
he
looking
covered.
at- Yeah, they have been covering lately as dogs. So yeah, if I was y'all, I'll put it up to 3.5 as well.
Yeah, so definitely some people are talking in the chat. It looks like, YouTube has frozen us. So this will be re-released when we're done. I'll just put it down as a taped show. No big deal. My next bet, and Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm doing it.
Don't tell me you take the Jaguars.
You know what? I'm not taking the Jaguars, but it's at the same level. Give me the Raiders +7.5.
I love the Raiders. I was looking at that game too.
I fucking hate this bet. But this is a bet I have to take. The Raiders are coming off a bye, and Scott Turner is going to be their offensive coordinator. To say he's a huge upgrade over Luke Getsy is an understatement. Turner is going to look to run the ball. I think he's going to look to use Zamir White more, have more gadget plays for Trey Tucker, and look to get the ball to Bowers. And that's basically what this offense should be. And for whatever reason, Getsy did not do that. Teams on a 5-game losing streak that are dogs, like the Raiders, 58% against the number. Teams on a 5-game losing streak that are coming off a bye, 73% against the number. Teams that won as a dog on Monday Night Football are 43% the following week. Same situation when they're home favorites, down to 43. I think the main thing is Turner's going to just look to run the ball. Dolphins, 25th DVOA defending the run. PFF has them graded as the 27th worst tackling team in the league. They're allowing 114 yards per game. Tyreek Hill hurt his neck on a TD celebration. Let's just let that sink in. He's supposed to be the best player on the team, one of the best players in the league at his position. In the game last night, they were 2-7.
Mm-hmm.
And he hurt his neck during a TV celebration.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
He's been awful this year. He's only had one game where he's had over 100 yards.
Yeah,
And he's averaging 51
have-
yards per game receiving. 51 yards. That is absolutely brutal. Now, like, honestly, he's he wants to be a porn star. He's thinking about that porn star career already. He wants to be a porn star. He wants to be a porn star. Like,
They're
literally.
gonna start the OnlyFans.
Like, no, he came out and said it. He wants to be a porn star after his career is over. He's already thinking about it. His foot is out the door. Now, let's look at the Rams box score. Rams had 100 more yards of offense. 8 trips inside the Dolphins' end and only scored 16 points. More total plays, more yards per play. Rams dominated that game. Now the Dolphins are traveling back cross country on a short week, having played 68 plays on defense. I don't listen to many people's podcasts.
Right.
One podcast I listen to a lot is I listen to the Chris Long one. I find that one really informative because he talks about situational stuff as a player. And one thing he talks about a lot is how these players, if stuff is short rest after being on the field extended time, it just adds up because their body, especially at this time of the year, can't get ready. I think we're going to see that here with the Dolphins. And I don't think I want to like Mike McDaniel as the coach of the Dolphins, but they just fuck shit up way too much. I feel like anytime they get punched in the face, they quiver up.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I'm taking the
that
Raiders
one
here.
too.
I'm taking the Raiders here plus 7.5.
Take it at 8. And bet MGM right now it's plus 8 for minus 115.
There you go. Lock that bad boy in.
There you go. I'm looking at all of it because I'm like, but all like everybody's taking. It's even though on the bets and the money for now. You know, all that changes during the week because it starts to change on Saturday because everybody start betting all the games on Saturday.
I mean, I'll be honest, like for me, I don't know how you are, but most of my bets are already in for the weekend right now.
Yeah, I usually wait.
Most of my stuff.
These games, I already know. I've been looking at it, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I like these. They're home. They should be able to get it, especially the Steelers. But I really, really hope the fucking Bills kick the damn Chiefs' ass, man, because I'm tired of the damn Chiefs winning. They can't be 10-0.
The thing to look for is I'm going to do this real quick. ESPN playoff standings NFL. So looking at this right here, the Steelers, I think the play is after this week, if you think the Steelers are going to win, to take a very small play on them not to make the playoffs.
I heard that.
Well, just
I heard somebody say that to me too, not to make the playoffs. I think that was you.
Yeah. Well, just hear me out. Like I said, like Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. It's a tough schedule. Mm-hmm. And when we look at the play AFC, I mean, there's Ravens 7-3, Chargers 7-3, Broncos 5-5.
What's the odds on that?
I don't know. I wonder. Let me pull them up on DraftKings real quick.
Somebody has a feature for the Chiefs to make 17-0.
Dude, no way. No way.
I'm like, oh no.
That would make my boy Bryce happy as hell. But there is no way that team is going 17-0. And if they do go 17-0, all right, here we go. Commanders. I'm interested in Commanders plus 475 not to make the playoffs. I'd be interested in that.
Oh yeah, that plus 475. That's not bad.
Not to make the playoffs. Steelers right now are plus 700 not to make the playoffs.
Oh shit, that's some good odds.
And I mean, like, I think it's worth a flyer. I mean, I think it's worth throwing a little piece of pizza money, you know, $5-10 on it, $25, quarter unit. I wouldn't go more than a quarter unit, so $25 on it.
Right. I probably would put money on it just for the fuck of it because come on, look at the rest of their schedule.
It's brutal. Their schedule is brutal. And like they could still cover this game and lose. And if they lose, how much are those odds going to drop? You want to get ahead of it. Now, if you think they're going to win, you obviously want to wait until the following week.
Right.
D. Always a good time.
Yeah.
Taking time out of your schedule to talk a little betting, little NFL. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media?
You can find me everywhere, every social, half the social platform. You can find me on X. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on IG. All of it at Betting in Heels. I do place my little picks that I I like on my little thing and be all creative and put all my pics on my stories and my posts, except for X because X get on my nerves.
X. I tell you
So if
what.
y'all want my place, you gotta follow me on my Instagram or my TikTok.
Good old X.
That's the only that's the only place, and Facebook. But I don't think people do Facebook anymore. So
I do Facebook, man. What are you talking about? I love
I
it.
like I do Facebook too. I post all my freebies, my fades. I put my fades in.
I love it.
I always you see me posting my fades. I'll be like losing like where let's see what happens next week.
I
My
love
bad.
it. Ladies,
Facebook every day.
thanks for coming on, my friend. Look forward to talking to you again. Make sure to tune in next week. King Midas Bets, aka Tyler, is going to be on the show. If you're watching on YouTube, sorry, no idea what happened. StreamYard just posted something up that said error. I'll reload it to it. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week.